In this how to paint a sunset on canvas for beginners video, I'd like to show you a simple way you can make a sunset sky. So what I have here on my 20 by 10 inch canvas, I have prepared my canvas with a thin coat of the thinned white, which consists of gel medium and titanium white, about 50% of each mixed together. And then I start right away into cadmium yellow, and I start putting that onto the middle of the canvas, maybe just below the middle there. And I also mix a little bit of an orange color with bright red and cadmium yellow, and I also applied that on the bottom. So just remember that we are mixing these colors with the thinned white that I applied just before I started to add the yellow and the orange. So I have a nice gradual blend from the cadmium yellow into the red towards the edges of the canvas on the bottom. The brush that I'm using is a synthetic brush. It's a larger synthetic brush with the longer bristles. You can use any brush you have to apply this on. What we're going for is a nice sunlit effect, and this will be our base for the next steps. You also want to start to kind of blend into each one of the colors with a wiped brush. What this does, it kind of eliminates any brush strokes that may remain on the canvas, and of course using light pressure. So to blend all these colors, we'll be using a shop towel, and throughout the whole video you'll see me use the shop towel to do this. So I'm always starting from the center and then moving outwards as I blend these colors. So here we are, and I'm going to be blending this Prussian blue mixture with a little bit of bright red and midnight black that I have in there. And I'm just taking my time, and you'll see how I do this. You'll have to constantly change out your shop towel because it picks up lots of color, right? So you'll see me doing that. And also if you want to use it as a brush, you can blend more color in back and forth. So I'm moving from right to left. And there's a nice fresh shop towel there, and I'm just kind of making a streak, and then I'll just do a little bit of blending there with that. I added the next layer of the clouds, and this one's a little bit darker, and now I'm just kind of blending it in. So I just added a little bit more of the Prussian blue and the midnight black and a little bit of the bright red in there as well. It's a different technique, and I find it very useful here to first of all blend the colors together, and then also to remove the excess paint, the excess oil paint that was going to help us with the next layer that's going to come up, a little bit more of the thicker paint. And this time I'm using a bristle brush and some titanium white and possibly a little bit of orange mixture that I had. So not pure white, but you can use pure white, it's not a big deal. And then just kind of looking for interesting shapes with my bristle brush. So as I paint the clouds in, it starts to blend with the color underneath, and you can see some gradations there of really kind of whitest white, and then the gradation towards the dark. And I'm just kind of skipping around the canvas here, creating some interesting shapes for the clouds. And just moving towards the center now. One thing I want to mention is you want to be very careful about mixing the yellow part with the blue. So you saw how careful I was when I was kind of blending it together. I was aware not to go into each color, because then you'd get a nice little green shade to the sky, which sometimes happens, but only with control. That's what I'm trying to say, with intention. If you had the intention of having a slight tint of green, then that's great. But if you just kind of happened, then just kind of be aware of that. So as I go into the yellow and pick it up, I want to wipe the brush. I wiped the brush, and then I came back to the blend with a little bit of a wiped brush. I'm not cleaning the brush completely, I just kind of wipe off the excess on the top. That's mainly when I'm going down towards the yellow. And there's our fluffer brush. We'll call it the fluffer brush. This is a makeup brush, and it has fine bristles, and I just use it to kind of blend any brush strokes and really create some depth and blurriness in the painting. So some circular motions here, banana strokes or X strokes, and then sometimes I just do vertical and horizontal strokes as well, just to kind of remove some of those brush strokes. And there, if you want to leave the brush strokes, you don't need to do this part. Alternatively, you can use the shop towel. It's just that now we have a thicker layer of paint, so it's a little bit trickier with that. So I'm just kind of introducing a little bit more of the dark in the corners here. Prussian blue and midnight black, I believe, the mixture. You can use a little bit of bright red in there to make it a little bit towards the red side. And the brush is a synthetic brush this time. It's what I used to begin the painting. And by the way, if you would like me to do the full tutorial on this, just comment below, and I will see what I can do. If there's enough interest, I will do a full tutorial for this. And if you've enjoyed the way I paint this sunset sky, you might be interested in taking a look here on this next video on how to paint clouds.